Today's topic is the 5 foundations of democracy. The 5 listed here, you can write them down, but we're going to go through them one by one on consecutive slides here. Since they are foundations, they are the building blocks that make up a democracy. 5 very important ideas that must be followed and adhered to in order for a true democracy to exist. We'll start with number 1, the worth of every individual. Self-explanatory, saying that every individual has value in a society. My example for you is whether you are a doctor, a farmer, a custodian, a stay-at-home parent, you add value to our society. You have something to contribute to society. My question for you is, do we treat everyone as if they have value today? I'll give you a couple seconds to think about that. Is everyone treated as though they have something to contribute, or are there any groups that you can think of that might be excluded or left out or viewed as unvaluable? If you can, please write them down now, and we will discuss them during class tomorrow. Our second foundation is equality. We believe that everyone should be treated equally before the law and should have an equal opportunity. Example here, everyone of age can vote. Everyone can choose their profession or the job they'd like to pursue. And everyone is able to get married. Or so we like to think. So my question for you there is, can everyone do each of those things? Can everyone vote if they're over 18? Can everyone choose their profession? And can everyone get married? Emphasis on the third one. In Iowa, we recently had an Iowa Supreme Court case that established that same-sex couples could get married. However, this ruling has been very controversial, and so it brings up the question, should marriage be allowed between only men and women, or should same-sex couples be allowed to get married as well? Should they have an equal opportunity? The important thing to note here is that this does not claim that everyone is equal in ability. So for example, it does not say that everyone can be Michael Jordan and be a fantastic basketball player. Our third foundation today is majority rule and minority rights. It's the basic belief that the majority rules unless they violate the rights of the minority. So we're all used to being in situations where we take a quick poll of hands, and whichever side has the most hands wins. And in general, that is how our society works. However, we cannot make any decisions based on majority rule if they violate the rights of even one individual or one minority. Example here, laws are passed by a majority vote. However, the majority cannot pass a law that denies redheads the right to drive. So in that example, our minority group would be, of course, the redheads, and they have a right to drive, and so it cannot be denied to them, even if the majority of citizens agreed with that law. A question for you here, why is this necessary? Why is it necessary to guarantee minority rights? What would happen if we simply allowed majority rule? Your fourth foundation today is compromise. In a compromise, all sides, whether it's two or more, agree to give up something, to give up part of their position in order to reach an agreement that benefits all sides involved. So no one gets exactly what they want, but everyone agrees to give up a little bit, move towards the middle to reach an agreement that they can all benefit from in one way or another. A historical example of this would be the 3/5 Compromise, in which the northern and southern states agreed to count slaves as 3/5 of a person. Now the North did not want to count slaves, since they had no slaves to count towards the population. But the South wanted to count slaves because it would greatly increase the amount of votes they got in Congress. And so the compromise was simply, we'll count slaves as 3/5 of a person. That way, both sides got part of what they wanted. My question for you is, why is compromise necessary? So what would happen if two sides, let's say Democrats and Republicans, could not reach a compromise on an issue? What might be the result? And our next foundation is individual freedom. Individuals have rights and freedoms that cannot be taken away. We believe every American citizen has these rights that we call unalienable rights, meaning they cannot be taken away. They cannot be made foreign to you. Classic example is that you have the right to speak your mind, what we refer to as the freedom of speech. And we believe that every American citizen has the right to speak, the right to speech. However, my question for you is asking, are there limits to your rights? So if you take speech, for example, can you say anything you want to at any time? Or are there restrictions or limitations on what you can say and when you can say it? And that concludes our screencast for today. Would you please make sure to fill out the handout you were given to go along with this screencast? Thank you.